Hey, good evening. Hi, it's just gone 9 o'clock. It's September the 6th, 2017. And 20 years ago to this day is what they called and was featured on the news the day Britain cried. And I watched a program, I think it was a few days ago last week, with my mum about the funeral of Princess Diana. And I was going to just type something in with a picture of her because it was 20 years ago today that she had her funeral. And then I thought, actually, do you know what? I'm just going to press the button and speak because I can feel my heart racing even as I do this now. And I can see you guys coming on. Oh, thank you guys. You've got Jules, Graham, Paddy. Hi, Paddy. Brenda. Oh, my God, Brenda. Narinda, hi, how are you? Tina, Harry, wow, Georgie, thank you so much. Because my heart's racing because this woman was my role model. She was somebody that inspired me long before I knew it was her that inspired me. Thank you for your likes. So I really just wanted to come on and share my thoughts from that program because I was writing because I was fascinated by what the guys that were speaking and narrating the program, what they were saying. So why did Britain cry that day? Why was the whole nation grieving? The whole nation was grieving. And the tags I put in here, the hashtags female fire, is my personal hashtag, but I think Princess Diana was an absolute role model for female fire. And that for me is when a woman is in tune with both her masculine and her feminine energies. And I think this woman, Princess Diana, had it all in abundance. Divine is my other hashtag for here because I believe Princess Diana was absolutely led by the divine. She was so tapped into that highest part of her that she just oozed essence from every orifice, didn't she? She was just the most remarkable woman. And then the final hashtag was unconditional love. This woman demonstrated from her heart what unconditional love looked like in all the work she did with the mines and how she was with her family and her children, how she communicated with the public, and not just with her words but with her love, her energy, her eyes. You could see absolutely into her heart. And the nation grieved. Why did the nation grieve? Why did they cry? Why were we sad for a woman that we'd never personally met? Many of us, very few of us had a conversation with her. I never had a conversation with her. In my head I did. But why are we grieving for somebody that we've never met? I personally believe because when she died, our hope died. She was such a shining light. She was the breath of fresh air. She didn't allow her princess title to affect her behavior in any way. I think she walked her walk and talked her talk. I think she was elegant, sophisticated, and everything a princess should be, and loving. I mean, these fairy tales, when we have princesses, she just absolutely knocks spots off any princess in a fairy tale. She was the absolute essence and demonstration and example of divine incarnated, I think. And I think when she died, I think part of us died with her. That hope that she brought to people just by being who she was. And when I think about her and when I see footage, and I have her on my vision board, I see her every single day. She warms my heart. She makes it okay for me to show up as me. When I think about the words, thoughts and feelings around Princess Diana, for me, she was elegant, she was sophisticated, she was loving unconditionally, she was bright, she was funny, she was sassy, she was sexy. If you've got any other words for Princess Diana, just stick them in here. Let me know what you think about who she was and what does she stand for you? Because she knew why she was showing up in the world, right? She knew what she was here to do. She married into a royal family. And I think marrying into the royal family is what brought her even more into our lives, clearly, to give her the exposure that the nation needed as well. But she was just such a breath of fresh air, and she made the monarchy, I believe, unstuffy. I think she made she was just so real. And then, of course, when we knew that we were going to be getting a public funeral, we would have never have let them not give her the public funeral that we wanted. You then started to see the public getting angry because they wanted to blame somebody for taking away our Queen of Hearts, for taking away the very person, like I said, that just gave us permission to show up. She made it okay. She showed us how to do it. She showed us how to shine. She showed us that it was safe to, I mean, she died, let's face it, she died doing what she loved, and that was living her life to the full. Her marriage didn't work out. Fine, we all have our own opinions on that. But she brought into this world two amazing boys who I believe have so much of their mother in them. The way they are, what they're doing publicly now, well, for mental health, the way they portray themselves as a family, and with William and Kate, and now their 3 children, they've got their third on the way, and Harry and what he's doing. They have so much of their mother in them that it is so refreshing to see. And they've just leveled the playing field, haven't they, for us all? You know, yeah, okay, they might be the monarchy, and they might be, you know, they might rule the country, but they've really brought what, there is no pedestal as far as these boys were concerned. And I believe that they learned from their mother, from Princess Diana. And, you know, the nation then started to blame. They had to blame somebody because they were frustrated and cross and angry that now, who did we have to be our shining light? Who was going to lead the way? Who was going to lead from the heart? Who was going to make it okay? Who was going to make it okay to break away from conformity? And I remember how I felt when she died. I mean, apart from being utterly sad, I was gutted. I just felt hope. I felt that, however, as I say that, even though she died, I don't ever think that the light and the legacy that she was and that she left behind will ever be extinguished. There's my dyslexia coming out in me now. Will never be extinguished, because she made such a difference in this world by being who she was, by being real. And every time she showed up as that person, she was an icon of her time. Absolutely, David, thank you. She was. And she just made it so very real for us to show up as ourselves. She demonstrated that her smile and her eyes, she was all about living from the inside out. And I just remember as a little kid watching her as they would film her running backwards and forwards from the gym, and just thinking, my God, she even is amazing when she's hot and sweaty coming out of the gym. But isn't this what's true of us as human beings? When we can tap into that divine space, when we can tap into that energy as she did, just innately. Who knows what her practices were? Who knows how she did it? Who knows how she did it? Who even knows why she did it? But all I know is I'm incredibly grateful that she did, because every time I study her, every time I look at her, I am so very grateful that this woman walked the planet, however short her life was. I am so grateful that she was here, because she made it okay for us to shine. She made it okay for us to live. Hi, Simon. Good evening. She made it okay for us to show up as we are. And there was 1 million people showed up to her funeral. 1 million people. And they had 20,000 police, and they still didn't have enough police to manage all the people. Obviously, everybody was beautifully behaved, because they had utmost respect for the woman herself, Diana. It was a 2-hour procession, and I remember watching it. 2 hours. You could have heard a pin drop with 1 million people, and what was going through their minds. 32 million people watched in the UK. 32 million people watched in the UK, and 2 billion worldwide turned up to watch on TV. They turned up to watch on TV. And the crying, they said in this program, was contagious. Once one started, they all went. There was a sharp intake of breath as the boys appeared in the procession. And that was the moment, I get shivers actually as I think about it. That was the moment that we realised we were grieving for a mother. Somebody who had a family. She wasn't just our icon. She wasn't just the example of grace and beauty and style and love and such a shining light. These boys had lost their mother. They had lost the very role model, the very essence of their lives, and they were following her down the last part of the procession. When Elton John sang Goodbye English Rose in the Abbey, you just, again, what an amazing tribute. What an amazing tribute. And the release, I believe it was a release that people were feeling when they were crying, and the sobbing that came from people, the 1 million people that showed up was absolutely incredible. Her brother talked about her in the church, and he said Diana at her essence was compassion, duty, style and beauty. She had a natural nobility that was classless. She absolutely, you couldn't define her. She was magic. She was absolutely magic. You couldn't really label her. We're trying to do the best we can. I love these insights and sharing, so powerful. Thank you, Catherine. It's just because she just touched my life so much. I couldn't do justice in words, so I just wanted to put my energy into it, so thank you. And Earl Spencer's reading touched the note for me, absolutely. And he did it with such, he made his point beautifully, I believe. And she needed the royal title, continued to brand her particular type of magic, and that for me was the word all over. And you can't put your finger on magic, and you can't define it. Above all, he said, we give thanks for a woman who was unique, complex, extraordinary. She was beautiful both internally and externally, and never will be extinguished from our lives. And it just really made me think, how can we tap into our magic, so that, and whether we shine in a way that she did in our own lives, I'm sure we all can, and we can all make that difference. And I just wanted to come on here and pay tribute to her, my role model, and thank her for being the example that makes it okay for us, that gives us permission to show up as us. And the monarchy today has changed because of her. How many of our lives have changed now because of her? How many of us can say that? How many of us can say the world is different because I was in it? Every single one of us. But the difference we make, the intensity of the difference we make, is totally up to us. But only when we tap into that divine part of us, the magic part of us, that cannot be labelled, and it needs this finite body to express it. And she did that so beautifully, so beautifully. Just say hi to a few more people that are on here. Oh my God, wow, there's lots and lots of you. Not that I've been ignoring you, I've just been totally in my space. Georgie, I said, didn't I? Hi, Mark from Holland. How are you, my lovely? And Lisa and Heidi, happy birthday, my darling. Kay, good to see you. Simone, hi, fantastic. Shane, how are you? Kat, you're here. How are you, darling? That's great to see you. Thank you for being here. Amanda, Val, Debbie Ann, hi, Nicola, Belinda. Oh, my lovely, I'm going to see you at the weekend and give you a big squeeze. I hope you're feeling better. And David, my beautiful poet friend, Tina, Catherine, Simon. Oh, Simon, who's doing amazing thing with 5 things clear. Pick up 5 bits of litter every single day. Jessica Coles, hi. Aline, hello, my beautiful friend. And Joanne, oh, God, all you wonderful people, and Sarah and Karen, all these loves and hearts. My gosh, you lot are stunning. Thank you. And Beverly, hello, hello, hello. Di Graham, Lisa, thank you for having me tonight, Lisa, in your amazing group. Odell, Jean, Steve Orpin and Gina Hardy, my beautiful goddess friend Gina Hardy. You know what? There are many, many, many examples on this planet, and Wendy Warren has just joined us. Hi, my lovely. There are many, many examples on this planet of lights that are shining bright. Please, please, please claim your space on this earth stage as a shining light. Princess Diana was the most exquisite example of how to shine bright. And when I work with the women I work with, and I do have a couple of male clients, but I'm predominantly about women. Maribel, hi. Karen, hi. How are you, lovelies? Thank you for joining me. When I think about my passion and my vision is to raise that feminine energy across the planet, just Princess Diana was just the most exquisite example of that, in my opinion. And she properly made it okay for us to shine, didn't she? But I truly believe, I truly, truly believe that every single one of us has that magic ingredient that Princess Diana displayed so beautifully. And for me, the way we get in touch with that divine part, is by aligning ourselves with our heart center. She knew how to do that. The divine that lives, we are everything and nothing all at the same time, and it's attaching ourselves to that everything part, or aligning ourselves, should I say, with that energy, that divine. And Kelly, hello my darling, how are you? When we align ourselves with that divine energy that is constantly there, it's living in us because our heart's beating. But Princess Diana was such a glorious example of how to align yourself with that power and allow it to fuel you from the inside out. When she smiled 5% here, 95% of her smile came from the inside. That's what we saw when she lit, when she lit up. It was because she was coming from that divine magic place. One of the last things that one of the guys said was, we surprised ourselves as a nation because we behaved in a way that was un-British. And then he said, my thought is, that's okay, isn't it? And I think this is the one thing that I know I'm challenging, which is the status quo of conformity. Is the one thing I'm challenging is that we do not have to be like everybody else. It's not safe. We think it's safe, and it's not safe. And every single one of us is a beautiful, beautiful example of how human beings really can shine. And I just want us all to tap into that and look after each other from a place of just, I got the word delirious. Where's that coming from? I don't know. But just stepping into the power of who we are, just like Princess Diana did, and making more of a difference that way. I'm very blessed to have in my life some amazing human beings and some people who I love dearly, and we are all supporting each other to challenge that status quo. And that's what I believe Princess Diana did. So even if we watch her on YouTube and remember for us what she did for us, let's just use her as an example of how to be in our power. I think she was just an exquisite example, and I just really wanted to share my thoughts. And that's what Earl Spencer said, was above all, we give thanks for a woman who was unique, complex, extraordinary. She was simple as well as being complex, I believe. She was ordinary but extraordinary, but she did the ordinary things every day that made her extraordinary. And she did it with love. No one can deny that. She was beauty both inside and out. And we will never be extinguished. She will never be extinguished from our lives. Thank you for joining me tonight on my thoughts on why Princess Diana was such an exquisite example of living her life led by love. God bless you. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.